Hey, everybody.
I'm Mo.
And I'm Katie, and this is
The Mo and Katy Show. It is, I apologize if anybody gets seasick.
This is the 695 edition of the show because we are kind of sitting on 695. But
Yes.
we are on our way back from TEDxColumbiana, which if you've been watching our stuff, you can see that we've been planning and talking about this for a while. The event itself was on Saturday, but it's so much more than that. So much more than that. It is days of rehearsals and networking and connecting and everything leading up to, and then days of meeting and hot washing and celebrating after the event. So the event was on Saturday, and we're actually heading home on Monday morning just so we could get all of everything done.
So one of the things, yes, the event was Saturday. We got done with dinners and everything else like that late Saturday night. So
Yeah.
we could have gone home Sunday. However, we have learned with our battle rhythm that because we do so much hot washing,
Yes.
and there's a lot of things, and just before we have to kind of compress everything and run back and re-enter into civilian life, we've started building days at the end of an event so that we can just kind of do that hot washing.
Yeah,
so,
and still working. I mean, still working, but also still just coming down from everything.
Yeah.
Like it's important part of the process. So it was amazing.
Yes. So one of the things we did, as you know, we love Atlas Obscura. So
Yes.
one of the things we had planned to do was go to the Guinness Book of World Records for the largest collection of troll dolls.
We went to the troll hole.
Yes, we did.
And we saw, I think, more trolls than I've seen in my life, all my years combined.
Yes.
But some weird stuff.
But it was
it
fascinating.
Was
so our tour guide, Roy, was fantastic and just knew all the facts. We even got to meet the owner who owns the museum and she owns the troll hole. But
she owns all the trolls.
But yeah, so it was fascinating. But the next thing we did was we were going to go to the White House Fruit Market because they had like a sunflower farm, and we had been there before. They got a nice little farmer's market type thing.
We were there before off season though, because what we pulled up to was like nothing we had seen the first time we went to the White House Fruit
There were
Market.
like 14 sheriffs directing traffic. The parking lot was packed.
Yes.
So we parked. We had to walk, I don't know, a good 2-3 miles to get, maybe not that far. But so then we walked and we passed, the first thing we passed was a budgie barn.
Yeah.
What's a budgie barn?
We didn't know what a budgie was.
It was like an enclosure, like a barn. It was like an enclosure with a lot of chicken wire fencing.
It was amazing. We walk in, and apparently a budgie's like a parakeet. Did not know that. And we were each given a popsicle stick with some seed on the end that you just hold it out and all the budgies land on the stick. Mo had budgies on her hand.
I had feathers on my nose.
We had fighting budgies on our sticks. It was so fun.
But we thought about this. I mean, we were giggling like little budgies, and it was, I'm trying to figure out why it was so much fun. I'm thinking, okay, if we had known about the budgies, it would be like, okay, well, maybe we'll do that. Maybe we would have had fun.
Yeah.
But I honestly think, and I think we've hot washed this part too, I think what made it so much fun was that it was unexpected.
Surprise and delight.
Surprising delight.
It was really surprising and delightful. It was really fantastic. And we just had so much fun. And, and then in the midst of that, continuing to think about the event, what we liked about it, what we would like to see, ourselves do different. So very mindful about all of it. But the TEDx event itself, TEDxColumbiana.
I think I might have just got a speeding ticket.
Oh no, that's not good.
We're going to start a GoFundMe for my speeding ticket I just got. Although I will say, there are about 6 other cars who should have gotten the same ticket.
Sweet.
So we're starting a GoFundMe for 7 cars.
So Greg Smith, a dear friend of ours, is the license holder for TEDxColumbiana. We first met Greg when Mo did her TED Talk at what was then TEDx Youngstown in 2019. And I think that's the first time we really met and got to know Greg.
I'd known Greg.
You had known him before that, briefly though, right?
Yeah.
And then Greg asked us in 2023 to do a dual joint TED Talk in 2024, which we did. I think we were asked, TEDx Talk, sorry. We were asked in, I think, September to do a TEDx talk in March, which we did last year. And then the day after the TEDx Youngstown 2024, Greg called us at breakfast and said, I would like the two of you to MC next year.
2025.
So here we are. September 20th, 2025 was this year's TEDx Now Columbiana. Because in that year, Greg went and bought a theater, the Columbiana Arts Theater, the Cat.
It is gorgeous.
It's just amazing. And so we had the inaugural TEDx Columbiana, and it was the inaugural TEDx at the Cat. And it was awesome. There were 13 speakers giving 12 TEDx talks because two of them took the stage together. And we were able to watch people be coached. We actually had quite a build into this event because we spent time with the speakers, doing calls, interviewing them, getting to know them. Mo attended a whole lot of the speaker coaching practices online. One of the ones in particular that she liked was where she got to be the distractor.
I was just going to say this. So this was something, and I think about this a lot. Like, you know, I look at life through, like all my life's experiences, I look through a lens of how is that particular experience applicable outside of the realm that it's happening in. For example, one of the speaking coaches, who happens to be our speaking coach, invited me to one of their Zoom run-throughs for 4 or 5 of the speakers, and asked and warned them. We warned the speakers that they were going to have distractions, because it wasn't about ignoring the distractions. It was about letting the distraction happen, stop, reset, and then continue on. So it wasn't about ignoring the distraction, but in a way it was. But it was about being able to have the distraction happen, relax, deep breath, and then carry on.
So if you're ever looking to hire a professional distractor,
Me.
this girl right here.
I had to pull, and I didn't want to repeat different distractions for.
Oh no! Why would you do that?
That's what an amateur
That is
does.
an amateur move.
Yes. So, I mean, I had fun. I'm just gonna say that.
She had sirens. She had
coming off mute.
turned herself into a cow.
Yep, I did. But here's the life lesson in that, right? I think a lot of times,
Always a
couple
lesson.
things. Sometimes we plan these things and we have this perfect delivery that we have planned.
Yeah.
And things are never going to go in exactly the way we plan.
That's true.
And so it's how we deal with that. And I think about this a lot. So when I used to interview, when I was a commander, when interviewing people for a new job, and I think I've told this story before, but I would always insist during the interview process, about a quarter or a half the way through, to have one question that was not about the answer. It was about the response. And
Nice.
by response, I mean how the person handles it. So this is the same thing. And the question I usually use is, how do you explain the color yellow to someone who's blind, right? And again, I don't care what the answer is. What I care about is, does that question rattle you? Does it throw you off? Like all these things. And I think
I don't think I ever knew this about you.
Oh, really?
No, I don't think I've ever heard this before. Holding out on me.
Yeah. But I think that, like, doing the distractions is important. In fact, at the theater, on the day prior, there was one speaker they wanted to see if they could maybe rattle her a little bit. They were doing things like they brought the screen down, like the theater screen, right above her head,
thumping
like
boxes on the stage.
Yeah, and she was unrattled.
Yeah.
It was perfect.
And it actually helped her get out of her head a little bit. And
yeah, you just have a little bit of fun. But I think, again, that whole life lesson of life's never going to go exactly the way you wanted it to, and it's not wishing for zero distractions. It's figuring out how we can allow those distractions to happen and not be rattled by them.
Yeah.
So anyway,
and if we could talk for a moment, because these TED Talks are going to come out to the public in about probably 4 to 6 weeks ish. It just depends on some factors. But when you get the chance to watch the videos from TEDxColumbiana, just know that this was a really amazing group of speakers, a wide range of topics, a lot of really strong women. There's a lot of humor in the scripts.
And a lot of grief. There was some
of grief. Yeah, there was laughter. There were tears. it was really a wonderful event. And the cool thing is that we are happy to announce that we will be the MCs for next year's TEDxColumbiana as well. We have
22 August.
That's right,
2026.
2026. So make your plans to visit the lovely metropolis of Columbiana,
It
Ohio.
really was a beautiful town.
It's a pretty little town.
Yeah.
And we can tell you like where to get the best like pizza and stuff like that.
And fried mush.
Mo had fried mush for the first time. So she asked the waitress, and actually I didn't really know. I had to Google it. She was like, what is mush? And I'm like, I'm not sure. It is cornmeal, apparently. And then when the mush was brought...
Deep-fried cornmeal.
Deep-fried, crispy cornmeal.
It looked like a hash brown.
It kind of did. When it was brought to the table, Mo asked the waitress, she said, all right, how do I go about eating this? And the waitress was like, butter and syrup. And she's like, okay, should I put ketchup on it?
Because it looked like a hash brown.
The waitress literally took a step back and she was like...
We almost got kicked out.
I've never seen anyone do that before. So
I'm like, I'm not going to be here first.
So, but it was really good, actually.
Yeah, it was good.
It was really tasty.
It would be the good kind of food, like be a good hangover.
Hangover food. That's what I was saying. Yeah. And I had cinnamon raisin French toast, which was also lovely. So, yes. So make some plans to join us next August at TEDxColumbiana because it is a wonderful event. And run by amazing people. The behind the scenes team was incredible. The tech team, the tickets, the advertising, everything was just really fantastic. So,
but if you don't know much about the TED community or the TEDx and how they're related, we would love to hear your questions. One of the things that we're going to kind of do is unpack a lot of the things that we learned.
Yeah.
There's just so many observations and so many things that are applicable to life, but there's so much hard work that goes into putting together a TEDx or a TED Talk. And there was just as much work from the MC side of things. So if you have any questions about TED or TEDx or even just kind of our process for MCing, we would love to hear what those questions are. We can go on and on and on about like the things that we do in our process, but we'd love to hear what questions you have.
Yeah, we had a lot of fun, and we got to do something that's often done in the TED community, our wrap-ups. So we got to write a wrap-up song that we did at the end of the show, and
that was
honestly,
a little rough for you and me.
We did okay though. I'm proud of us.
Yeah.
So there is one thing, and I think only like one thing hardcore that Mo and I tend to disagree on when we work on together, and that is how to write a parody. Our writing styles are very different. And this parody, we knew we could not write it ahead of time because we had to get there, hear all the talks, be with everybody so that we had things to put in the parody. And so then we basically wrote the parody after the speaker dinner on Friday night.
So basically from 10 to midnight, the night before the day of the talks.
About 12 hours before we were going to get on stage and do this parody. We had to write it, but we did it.
We did.
And we're still speaking.
We're speaking to camera, not to each other. So that's different.
Well, Mo was right about the format that it should have been in, and we went with it, and it was lovely. So
anyway,
we did it. So, yeah, good stuff. We're excited about the future of working with TEDx. Quite honestly, our brains are on the next things that we have coming up. We have some fun things in the pipeline that we, some fun gigs that we have coming up. So we've been talking about those as well. It's fun to do an event like this, but it's also fun to have something to look forward to on the other side.
Always, yeah.
So
here's your call to action. First off, if you have any questions about TED or TEDx, love to hear what they are, about the process or anything else. But here's another question. If you were going to give a TED or TEDx talk, what would your core idea be? Like, what's the idea that people need to hear?
Yeah.
That's what we want to know.
What is your idea worth spreading? What is the thing that you're passionate about? What could you talk about for 12 minutes memorized on stage with excitement and slides?
Or not.
Maybe props. I don't know. So
anyway.
Yeah. Cool. So coming at you, still on 695. We are moving a little better now. We are both getting ready to re-enter into life. I am actually going home to teach. Mo is very excited because she gets to watch football tonight, which she really enjoys. And we're, again, on to our next adventures. But just wanted to report to you from coming down from our TEDx gig and just super excited about all the opportunities that we have. So
let us know what your core idea is.
please.
We want to know.
We want to know. We need to know.
So need to know. The world needs to know.
Don't forget, from the monumental to the mundane,
life is filled with unforgettable experiences.
It is. And we are Mo and Katy, your epic MCs, coming at you from the car. We'll see you soon.
Woo woo.
Okay, bye.
Bye bye.